Assalamu alaikum, my name is Sarah Zaidi and I'm an OCT certified high school teacher. We need future leaders in our community. So we need people that know about Islam and they take pride in Islam and follow it to the best of their ability. And I think the best way to do that is to do it through education. And that's why I think having a Shia high school would be the best idea.
What was interesting in university was like you were kind of by yourself, so it all depended on you. From the experiences I've had through the 4 years and looking back at it, I don't think like the sense of community this place has, I don't think any other place has. Like they can come and show me, but I really don't think they have it as much as this. I feel like all the teachers, all the students, all the staff, everyone just connected with each other so much. But like that's the thing, I loved it so much. Like I have no regrets. Like the only regrets I have is that this has ended. Like the 4 years have ended, and like I have said this so many times. Like I would come to this school and relive those 4 years of my life, just to experience all that. Even if it's the same experiences, I would want to relive those moments.
The teachers at Wali had such a great impact on me, to the point where I think it was one of those key relationships that I needed as an individual. Knowing that there's, people there to support you, to cheer you on as you progress through life, it's such a great blessing. I remember in second year of university, it was quite a tough year for me because most of the courses were very difficult. Although I've graduated, I've received a message from a teacher of mine, and she sends me like a package with a dua book. And she's like, I hope this, helps you throughout your life. Her checking in on me, that sort of gave me that sense of like, encouragement to keep going, to keep moving forward, to keep pushing, because they're there for you, they're cheering you on. That gave me that sense of motivation.
This is a very big blessing to be a student here at Wali, because this environment, it helps you not only to be strong, but also helps you to recognize that there are boundaries, especially in this day and age. You need to know what is right and what is wrong, because everything is just blended together. But at Wali, everybody, especially the teachers, they give you that clarity. And like when you go out and deal with the world, when you grow out older, you'll be very thankful that you were a Wali student. Because here at Wali, everyone, alhamdulillah, is striving for the same goal. Everyone's striving towards closeness to Allah. Everyone is working towards the same thing. But in university, there will be all kinds of people with all kinds of beliefs, all kinds of goals. So it'll be, if I go into that environment, I will see that there are a lot of distractions, which is another reason that I'm very thankful for being a Wali student, that I've been taught from a very young age that there is that one goal that you need to achieve. Don't fall for these traps in this world.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Shaji, and I've been in Wali for about 12 to 13 years, and I'm currently in grade 10. Alhamdulillah, I have a great support system here. From the alumni, to the students, the teachers, to the admin, to the staff, and anyone who works here is just willing to help. And till this day, all the teachers here, all the staff, the admin are still helping me to reach my goals and become successful in life, not only in this life but also in the hereafter.
So my name is Adila Masroor Abbas, and I have been with Wali from past 7 years. And my current role is a coordinator, and I do teach grade 4 and 5. I'm homeroom for grade 5, and I do teach math in grade 4. When we are celebrating Biladas or we are commemorating Shahadas, when I see our little kids reciting so beautifully and they are loving Imams or Rasul in such a way, it's a beautiful moment. There's so much. Sorry, there's a lot to mention. Yeah, there's a lot. Every single day there is something going on or the other. Alhamdulillah.
My name is Miss Fizza. I am a high school teacher here at Wali Ul Asr Central Campus. I have done a bachelor's in nanotechnology engineering from University of Waterloo. After that I worked a bit somewhere else and now I'm here, alhamdulillah. It is not what I expected. It is so much more rewarding and fun than I thought it would be, but at the same time I did not expect the amount of work that comes along with it. But even if it's like, for example, even if it's like a stressful day with like a lot of work and like marking and stuff, coming back in the next day and then looking at your students, and then even if one of them seems to understand one little thing that you're trying to explain, it just makes up for every hard part of the job. When I did my first lab here did my first science lab for my students here. So what we did was a flower dissection. After that whole thing was done, one of the students came up to me and was like, "Miss, I had such a wonderful time." And at that moment, and I was like so nervous and scared the whole time. And as soon as she said that, and like she was fully smiling, and the look on her face, I'm like, okay, something is going okay, something went well. And then the thing is, she went back home and she even added a comment on Google Classroom as well, because I had a submission open for that. It's like, "Miss, this was so fun. Loved it." I'm like, that's wonderful. My heart is full. When I made this decision, or when I was in the process of making this decision to come to Wali, it actually had been in the back of my mind for many years. Being a teacher here and being able to help and serve our Imam is the utmost respected career in my perspective. So when I first got introduced to Wali and the school was actually through Miss Sarah Zedi. She was someone that I looked up to, and after she passed away, the things that we learned about her, the things that she did, the way she, the type of person she was, the type of teacher that she was, it's very unfortunate. Many times I sit there and wonder, I'm like, what am I doing with my life? This sounds like a very heavy question, but I think it is very important to think about this question every now and then before you get way too off track. Because with her case, it's, what did she do with her life? It was a very short life. She spent it in a great manner. She spent it in a manner where she was actively, every act that she was doing in her life was to serve the Imam.
When God gives you a blessing, I think the biggest thing that we learned from when she passed away was, when God gives you a blessing, you should appreciate it. Because, and I think about this often, like she passed away at a very young age. And you'll see, like, sometimes there are these people that you come across in your life and they do so much good for you in like the shortest amount of time that you've known them. And then you realize that that person was such a huge blessing for whoever they came across. I think if it weren't for the choices of my parents, I don't know who I would be. Like, if it weren't for them choosing to put us in Wali, no matter what everyone said, they got backlash like all the time. You know, it's private school, it's fees, it's this, it's that. Like, why are you doing this? It doesn't make sense. When you're a country that has free education, why are you choosing to make these choices? And they stuck with it because they saw something in it. They put effort towards it. And they always tell us, like, you're our investment. And I don't, without them, like, I don't even know. I can't even think about where I would be without the choices that they've made.
My name is Ummul Fatma. I'm a grade 3 teacher at Wali Ul Asr, and I'm also the coordinator at the West Campus. So when we were initially planning to move to Canada, we were a little skeptical about moving to a Western country, and the main thing that we were concerned about was the schooling. So we talked to a couple of scholars, and they were the one who suggested that Wali Ul Asr is the school to be. And we came here, we visited Wali, and we were satisfied with the environment, with the people, with the staff, the community as a whole. and it was that then we made the decision to move here. So basically, Wali Ul Asr was the driving force to move us here. Yeah. Then the moment I entered, I felt like I'm welcomed here. Everyone was very friendly and welcoming and warm, and the affection I got from all of them was amazing. I was amazed that, how well my first day went. I was so comfortable in the first day itself. So alhamdulillah, it went very, very well. I look at them like I'm, teaching the leaders of tomorrow. I'm preparing the followers of the imams, and that's what I see them as.
First day of school, I think I don't recall it very clearly, but yes, I do remember first year was very challenging and exciting at the same time. I don't know if it was that year or a year after that when we took the students to the zoo, and I was in charge of grade 7s, and I'm very bad with navigation, and I got ourselves lost in the zoo. So the bus was waiting for us, and we were 1 hour late to the bus because we ended up at the very far end of the zoo, and we were going in circles looking for the bus, although we had a map, and students were very tired, and it was very hard to push them to run. It took us about 45 to 50 minutes to get to the bus.
What was the reaction of the other students when you guys came here?
Students were fine, and it's just we were very late. I think the bus driver was very frustrated, but students were having fun in the bus. They weren't complaining. I love teaching since I was a child. I remember when I was in elementary, I had a cousin who was 2 years younger than me. They lived in a different city, so summertime we used to go and visit them. And the summertime I had to tutor him because he was struggling with his academics. So ever since I was a child, I was really passionate about teaching, reading the life of Sheikh As-Saduq alayhi maqama. He's one of the early Shia scholars who was born in the time of minor occultation. So this goes back to about 1,000 years ago. Sheikh As-Saduq, who was born with the dua of the 12th Imam Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farjahu Sharif, was able to publish collection of narrations which are today the basis and the foundation of work for our scholars when it comes to fiqh. So basically what he did taught every Shia ever since how to pray, how to fast, because all these rules come from narrations. He's the one who compiled them in his book. So for 1,000 years, and God knows how long this will continue, anyone who has prayed, he receives the reward for that prayer as well. This fascinated me a lot, and I was always asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant me an opportunity to teach, because the impact of teaching will continue in generations and generations. So it is something, a good deed that will not end when the action has stopped. When you see your older students getting graduated, again, that is very rewarding. I think this is something only a parent and a teacher can feel. When a young man and a young lady is graduating high school and you have been their teacher, there is no equal emotion that I can explain to you. Yeah, it is very rewarding from the moment it is happening to the outcomes that will come year after year.
What is Wali to you?
Everything. Wali is everything. When I say that, I don't say that lightly. I do think that without Wali, I would be a completely different person. And without Wali, this whole community would be a completely different community. It is something that is a bright light in a sea of darkness that we're surrounded by in this society that we live in. Before, people used to say that, how are they going to cope in university if they're sheltered and they're in a bubble or whatever. But now, mashallah, our alumni are, excelling at the university, and they're becoming leaders, not followers. So that's what we want. We want leaders. We want ambassadors of our faith. We don't want people who will just completely get incorporated and assimilated into where they are.
So my name's Hina Manikia. I am a mother of 2 children who, alhamdulillah, attend Wali Ul Asr as well. So I worked as a radiographer. Seeing that this was, the dua had is a part of our routine, and we're able to commemorate through majalis and, hold the milads and be able to talk about the imams a lot more than I would in my day-to-day job back in England. I felt like that was my peak moment. I feel like when they say that you never stop learning, it's so true. I in fact feel like what I've learned here, I hadn't learned up until I came here. The amount of learning I've experienced, the amount of growth, both academically, spiritually, my growth, and I've yet a lot of growing to do. If I feel with all that I've learned, I'm still there. There's a lot more for me to do, but I feel through teaching the children, I'm learning. Through speaking to my colleagues, I'm learning. From the alumni, I'm learning. From the management, I'm learning. The students' questions, I'm learning. From their answers, I'm learning. I feel like it's not just that I'm learning to be able to answer their questions and I'm actively looking for answers. It's the fact that sometimes they'll say things and I'm like, whoa, I didn't know that. Oh wow, I didn't think of it like that. So I feel like, yes, definitely, I'm constantly learning.
So I was a bit nervous first day, but I think I connected well. I think the first day I was able to connect, and I knew they're not that scary. They were all good students and very respectful, and I was kind of I was nervous that I don't know if they will bully me or not, because I'm replacing a teacher, right? And it was my first experience in Canada as well, in teaching a school. Before that, I've taught in Pakistan, and when I came to Canada, I've taught in university. I think it's a family. When I talk to my kids, and I often joke with them and say, okay, what's your community when you grew up and you started your jobs and you have your own families? Where will you find friends and all that? And they always say, well, go back to Wali, really. So I think it's not only us, the parents, but also the kids, right? They feel that Wali is the roots. Yeah.
It's like a family away from family. The staff here is very easy to talk to, so we spend a lot of time together as like sisters.
We've literally been at Wali Ul Asr since day one. So when our daughter turned 3 years old, I started to worry about having her in the public school system, because I, as a child, had attended the schools here, public schools, and was quite worried about having her in the public school system. So I began to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I asked him for an Islamic school in Brampton. There was an existing school, but it was very far away from us. And believe it or not, by the time she was 3.5, Wali Ul Asr opened its doors to their Brampton campus. And we were so lucky and happy and blessed. And so our daughter has been there from JK and then graduated in grade 12 and is now in university. And our son began in JK as well. He is now in grade 10, alhamdulillah. When Aliyah Fatima, my daughter's name is Aliyah Fatima Wali, and this is a story I tell often just because I love it. When she finished her first week at school, she was 3.5 years old, she finished her first week at school, and I remember asking her, how was your first week? How did you like it? Did you make any friends? Do you like your teachers? And she said, Mama, I think we have to change my name. And I said, your name is Aliyah Fatima Wali, like it's a beautiful name. And she goes, I think we need to change my name because everybody calls me Aliyah Fatima Wali Ul Asr, and of course, we just laughed about it. And I'm like, if that's the worst they can call you, then alhamdulillah. When our daughter started 15 years ago, it was a school in a basement. And I couldn't have been happier. There were beautiful little classrooms for little children, and we were literally, I believe we were staff and students. There was like 75 kids at the first year. So it was tiny, they got a lot of attention from their teachers, and I had no complaints. Alhamdulillah.
Because in Wali, we learn how to be stronger people, how to be stronger Muslims. Wali has also taught me to be a better daughter, a better sister, a better role model for even those who are not my siblings. Alhamdulillah. And I really enjoy the part that when I come back home and I just see the faces of my parents, the ones who put me and gave me this experience of finally becoming a Wali student and being able to grow up in this kind of environment. Alhamdulillah.
First of all, thank you for all the hard work that you're doing at the school. It's definitely not easy being not only a teacher, but an Islamic school teacher who's always being questioned for, the place that they're working at. But as a former student at Wali, I would like you to know that you do have a huge impact on, a student's future. What you do really impacts, the choices they make in life. I think one message that I want to relay to the students is do cherish your time at the school. Cherish the relationship that you have with your teacher and try to strengthen that relationship with your friends, because you'll know sooner on and later on in life, it's this friendship that you make here, the network that you make here, that will really be your your support in the future.
Try to be engaged in it as much as possible, and don't, I know this happens, and just don't come to school because you want to go home and later on, try to live what's happening in school, right? So that's what I would say to the students, but because that's the thing I feel like I did and other students in my class did, and that gave us a lot of memories to look back upon and to ponder about and to talk about later on in our years.